I'm here today at a secret location somewhere in Orlando. I'm not allowed to say exactly where it is, but this warehouse behind me is the entrance to Penumbra. That's the home of the brand new interactive experience When Shadows Fall. It's created by the same people who made last year's The Republic, which I loved. I am so excited to see what they had this time.
Penumbra is the first totally harmonious society in the history of mankind. Penumbra is the future. It's your future.
Hello. Welcome to Penumbra. My name is Hillary. I'm the acclimation advisor here for Penumbra. At any point in time, if you have a question, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'd be happy to assist you.
Attention. Please initiate security sequence P77.
Did Richard release anything to the outside about the labyrinth? No? Well, ready for a retreat now.
Be vigilant.
So I just experienced When Shadows Fall. That was a lot of fun, but for our viewers who only caught some glimpses of it here, tell us, what is this?
We really like to think about it as really mixing theater with gaming, because we really want to take people into a first-person experience where they get to really get out of their seats and they get to, you know, go around the set and really be a person. Think of it as you get to be your own avatar. You get to pick who you want to be out of 14 different roles and experience your own path, your own storyline that affects not only your story, but the stories of everyone else.
It was fascinating. I really felt like I was making choices at times. You know, the different performers were asking me things, or I had an option of where I wanted to go. How much was I actually making choices, and did they really affect the story as I saw it?
Tremendously so. You probably affected the story much more than you ever could have imagined. And there's choices in there that are, you might have thought as minor choices, but they actually were quite larger, and vice versa. We really tried to, you know, weight the different choices that you actually made. So it really is like life. I mean, we try to create a really microcosm of society itself, so that when you come in here, you know, you make choices and they affect things and you have consequences. So if you wrong somebody, they're not going to be nice to you afterwards, and vice versa.
Now, I noticed, you know, doing this, I only experienced, I feel like, a small part of the story. I felt like sometimes I'd go somewhere and I knew a lot of what was going on, but I wouldn't know who this person was or why that person was dead or something like that. If I came back, would I be able to experience the other parts of this?
Right, of course, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges we had actually writing this type of experience, because creating a society, you know, you're going to come into this and you're not going to know everything. Just like in life, you don't know everything. And so we want to make sure that you are understanding your role and your experience here, but you're also intrigued so that you do come back and want to experience everything else as well.
Now, last year we experienced The Republic.
Right.
Also a lot of fun and very, very similar story
Definitely.
style and things. Just looking around here, though, I mean, your production values have gone way up, it seems. Tell me about some of the set pieces we saw.
Great, yeah, we actually have probably spent about a year creating this entire experience, and we've been in this location for months. We spent so much time and energy and effort really just sort of building everything and designing everything. So that was a luxury we had over the Republic, because a lot of us actually have been doing this full time to really put all of our efforts and energy into creating the world that you can experience.
Now, for our viewers, I felt like I got a lot out of it by putting myself into it, by asking questions, by trying to get to know what was going on. What kind of person do you think gets the most out of this experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, and personally, I really tried to help create this experience for so many different types of people. And, you know, of course, the people who are the most engaging and who can be outgoing and really get out of their comfort zone and ask are going to have probably a much stronger experience. However, that also, to counter myself, isn't actually true. We had somebody recently come who came and they wrote on their feedback form, they said, I had an amazing time. I'm normally very shy in life, and I started this experience very shy, but I gradually got out there and I started really putting myself out there for this experience, and she really loved it and she really got to connect with the players. So you can be anybody here, and I think really enjoy it, and it really helps, you know, get you out of your shell.
So tell me, we just ran around here like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to figure out what was going on half the time. How crazy is it from your side as an actor?
So there's a lot of variables to keep in mind, not only what my players know directly, but what you guys are experiencing is being fed to me technologically too. So I'm keeping track of all of this while I'm also talking to you and moving from place to place. So that, along with a sense of time, is what's going on in my brain at all times.
Now, is that a common theme for all the actors?
It depends on where you are, of course. In the office and in the different areas of society, we do have leaders who are moving us, who are the people who are trying to get something done. So they're the ones keeping track of the biggest variables, but everybody has their own set, which determines what happens to you as a character and what happens to all of your players who are with you.
That's so cool. So you're talking about these variables and how hard it is to keep track of. How big are the changes that can happen based on what me or the players decide?
So it's not only how we treat you, like how we interact with you, how I shout at you or not. It's also if I live or die, right? It's also
spoilers.
Yeah, it's also who is powerful. Even in the ending you experienced tonight, something a little different has happened that's never happened before, and it's because of how all of you thought of and treated a character.
Huh, that's so interesting. Now that having been said, going through this experience, I think I bumped into you once that whole time.
I saw you as a bronze, that's
yeah.
what you were, yes.
Now,
okay.
how common is that? Like, I barely knew anything about you until the end.
As a leader in the office, I don't necessarily affiliate myself with the workers in the factory or with the rebels who are wandering around without proper documents. So it's not my place to tell you what to do or who you are, right? And in the same way you saw when I interacted with you, I didn't really care for you, wasn't really interested in you, not because you don't affect me, but because there are bigger purposes working behind you. So
now, what kind of actors does it take to do something like this?
It is a mix between improv and learning lines. And then beyond both of those kinds of training, there is the ability just to manage people in a very intimate way. Sometimes I'm leaning against a wall and I can't move, and someone is like holding me, a stranger, right, that I've never met before tonight. So you become really close to people you may never see again. And being able to make that connection, or the opposite, right, really angered by, distraught by people you've never met, never will see again, is amazing.
I imagine you have to be in shape a little bit too.
Oh, there's a lot of running around, and if you're not in shape when you get here, Penumbra will get you in shape for sure.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Now, just between us, turn the cameras in there. How did we do? How did our group do?
So, according to my perspective from the office, you cared a lot about what was wrong and not a lot about what was right. So, by being so focused on what is wrong, really the response to that is that justice is a cruel thing. Justice is a terrible thing, and it must be applied. Well, sometimes it's applied to the wrong people.
So we won, is what he's saying.
Be careful. Winning is a strong term.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So that was our look at When Shadows Fall. I had such a good time. If you want to come out and have the time that I had, ask questions, get to know, trust no one. I'd like to tell you where to come, but we are still at an undisclosed location. I can tell you though, we are real close to the tourist sections of Orlando, so don't worry too much if you come visit. But if you want more information, check out the website, whenshadowsfall.com.